I met a man named Klimek on the outskirts of town. He had heard I was making the climb to Hrothgar and asked me if I would deliver some supplies for the Greybeards. He has made the climb many times, but age was beginning to make the trip difficult for him. I asked what he could tell me about the journey up the mountain. Aside from the long climb, Klimek said that the way was safe enough. The path wound its way around the mountain. I felt exposed on the high paths, and the wind cut me to the bone. The view, on the other hand, was well worth the trouble. To the south, I could see the Gerals, and beyond that, home. To the north was the tundra, and the snow-capped peaks, and a faint glimpse of the sea. I couldn't help but notice Whiterun. It was strange to think I was only recently looking up from the city gates. The monastery reminded me of the Nordic ruins I've seen throughout Skyrim, only in better condition. Inside, I was met by an old Nord named Arngeir. He seemed to have expected me, hailing me as Dragonborn. I had many questions, but Arngeir was vague in his answers. The Greybeards live a life of seclusion, and are little troubled with the world below. He did not know why dragons returned, but he seemed to think that there was more than one dragon. As far as my experience upon slaying the dragon, Arngeir described it as proof of my dragon blood. Only the Dragonborn is able to truly slay a dragon, as they devour its soul. Much of what he said made little sense to me. Arngeir then explained that the Dragonborn, or Dovahkiin in the dragon tongue, is blessed by Akatosh with the soul of a dragon. It is through this blessing that Dragonborns can inherently call upon the Thu'um by shouting. The Greybeards command the same power, but they are only able to do so through years of rigorous study and prayer. I was brought out to the yard, where a few other Greybeards joined us. There they taught me to shout. According to Arngeir, by absorbing the dragon's soul, I gained a portion of that dragon's knowledge, which allows me to shout without training. The feeling was strange, to say the least. I liken it to the rush of power I felt when I absorbed the dragon's soul. I was able to let out a shout that echoed faintly, like thunder. Evidently, there are many applications to the Thu'um. The Greybeards taught me how to sprint like the wind, to quickly cover short distances. Arngeir said that through training my voice, I can unlock more powerful shouts. Throughout Skyrim, there are ancient word walls, where the Nords carved knowledge of the Thu'um in the dragon language. Arngeir told me that by finding these walls, I might better understand how to use my voice in new ways. Once again, I asked what I should do about the dragon's return. The lack of concern by the monks frustrated me. I feel if they had seen the ruins of Helgen, they might think differently. Arngeir counseled me to embrace my gift, as it is a blessing from Akatosh. I owe my life to Akatosh. It was his priest who looked after us orphans in Kvatch. Perhaps this is part of some kind of divine plan.